Today we're going to look at public transportation versus driving your car and the preferences and your location and the costs and everything in between. I think looking at public transportation, it varies depending on the size of the city or town, because even the smallest town seems like they have a bus, some type of like bus system, or some people use taxis. There was a small town I visited one time where the people were ashamed to use taxis. It was like a sign that you were broke or something. It was really weird. Yeah, I didn't get it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't. It depends. I don't mind this trains or subways. I Public transportation with the bus. I don't know. And plus, being a germaphobe, I don't know. I'm like, if I don't like the way the seat looks, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stand. I'll hold the pole. Do I hold the pole? That's who's been touching that either. I don't know. The bus compared to the train, I don't know. I've seen some interesting looking people on the bus. I prefer to drive personally, but just saying.
I'm pro public transportation, so I think it's important because not everybody can own a car. Not everybody has money to buy a car. So some people they need public transportation to go to work every day. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of people they oppose it. Yeah, I think it's important. It's very important, and also I am pro environment, so public transportation helps. So I don't know what side you are. You just hate because you're germaphobe, or you hate the system itself.
I don't care. To be honest, I like to have the option of the car or public transportation. Once you have a car, you don't like to wait, but I know you don't like it because you don't even like to drive. So
Yeah.
I get that, but I mean, I think because some people are used to their cars and it gets them to where they want faster. But I don't mind public transportation because if you go to bigger cities, it's very hard to find a place to park. It's like you're in between a rock and a hard place because if you have a car, there's a problem because you can't find parking. You gotta worry about getting towed. When you don't have a car and you're far off, you want to get home faster, but you gotta wait on the next train or the next bus, and you gotta walk, especially if it's cold outside. So there are pros and cons. I'm good with both, but I prefer to have the option of having my car. But I understand that it can be expensive to maintain a car in some places, and especially in the city, I understand that it's tedious to have a car because you gotta worry about parking. Even you gotta pay for parking in your own residence in some cities, which is I
Crazy.
yeah I don't know. Prefer. I don't like the city anymore. I used to. I don't like it. But I do think the public transportation is necessary in a lot of cases. To be honest, there's an issue of speed. I don't know if it falls under public transportation as far as those bullet trains in Europe. I don't know if that falls under the category or that's more
That's
like
that's
airplane.
it's public too.
Okay.
Because many places in Europe you can live 200 kilometers away from where you work.
Yeah, that would
So
be
you
beneficial.
commute.
That would be beneficial,
Yeah,
especially. I mean, it maybe drive down real estate prices, which is good for a lot of people.
especially in Japan.
Yeah, I think that would be beneficial. But I sometimes I haven't had the best experience. I've had okay experience, but it depends on.
I,
I can't
I,
control that.
I think you just don't like it because then you had a bad experience. But overall, I think for any mid-sized city, even small city, it's important because we have to understand like not everybody is making enough money to buy a car today because after they pay their rent, they buy food, and pretty much have nothing, right?
It's
So
funny you bring that up. There are some places, especially when you compare geographic locations, like Chicago, places like Chicago, New York. Toronto, and everywhere, like every other European country, they seem to have decent public transportation. I noticed down south there's like a struggle. People who want it, and there's a lot of people who are heavily against it. Heavily against it.
You know why?
You have cities like Houston. Houston
You
is
know
like
what?
the same size as like a Chicago. Well, it's close in size to like a Chicago or a Toronto. And yet Houston, I've seen that this one little train that only goes to certain parts of downtown, and that's it.
You
And they have a bus.
you want me to tell why?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is
I
the
know you're gonna.
design is the design of the city, the urban, how they design the city. So most city you said the older, so they're more compact, and Houston is way more spread around.
Chicago spread around too.
Yeah, but it's older than Houston.
Yeah,
Still, like
but
there's a core, and Chicago has subway way longer than Houston doesn't even have subway. They have like small train that goes in.
no, I said it's. I was looking at people's opinions. Like there are a lot of people that don't like in this
Because they're
especially-
used to cars. It's hard.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with design of the city. It's their
No.
opinion.
It has to do like with that too. The urban spread.
So people's opinions have to do with the design of the city.
No. What I'm saying, it has to do with the way they design the city. So it's harder to make public transportation efficient because everybody living in the suburb, like it's 10 kilometers away or that kind of stuff. So if you want to build new train that go to the burbs,
But if you
it
go
takes
to,
way more money, and people they don't want to spend that money.
but looking at a place like Houston and Toronto, I don't see the difference as far as being spread out. They're similar spread out cities. The sprawl.
Yes, but the way they collect taxes is probably different.
So I think it's an issue. I think it's a
Mind you,
cultural issue in the South.
Yes, that's what I said.
But
Texas
I don't think it has anything to do with design.
no,
Because-
the design has to do with it too.
Not
Because
exactly, because-
the urban spread,
But-
it's it's wider.
Philadelphia and Toronto have urban sprawl. They have public train systems. DC,
But the
has public,
older-
so
the
I don't think that has. I don't think it has to do with design though. I think it's a cultural issue.
Yes, that's part of it.
But
It's so many issues combined.
I don't think design's related, but
And also, you know one thing, the way they collect taxes, right? In Texas, you have no state taxes, right? You have no state.
don't-
I'm telling you, there's no state taxes. It's the same thing as Florida. There's no state tax. Why Elon move his Tesla to? He's trying to move his.
I think it's
headquarters to
lower.
Fl-
I have to look that. I think the
No.
Texas have state taxes.
No, there's no state taxes.
Maybe not. But yeah, it's fairly cheap there. But at the same time, Dallas, Houston, they're no different in layout to me than like from what I've seen.
It's completely.
I
different.
went to Dallas.
Yeah.
I went to Toronto. Toronto and me and Houston look alike in a way, in certain ways, because Toronto's flat like Houston, and they
Yeah,
have,
but that's a land. That's
that's what I'm trying to say. It's not a design. It's not so much
no.
design.
It's a design. I'm
It's got.
telling you.
It's the same laid out. It's like longitudes, latitudes. There's no. For instance, when I went to Detroit,
Yeah.
Detroit is laid out in spokes. They're laid out in spokes. Now they did have they always talk about all these cities talk about they're going to improve their public transit. Detroit has this one
Ring.
train that goes around. In
Yeah,
the
it's
ring.
ring. Yeah.
But again, it's laid out in spokes.
Yeah.
But when you look at Houston,
Yeah.
or if I look at like Toronto or
Yeah.
Philadelphia, even Atlanta's similar sprawl. They have that same MARTA, right?
Yeah.
Miami has one, right? I don't know. I think it's more a cultural issue because you have a lot of smaller northern cities that have decent bus public transit, right? Because these cities in the south, even their bus public transit is not that great.
Yeah, but
Except for I know a city like Charlotte, North Carolina has decent bus within the city limits. They had a decent bus system for what I saw for down south. But from what I gather, I don't think it's designed. I think because there's a heavy, for some reason, people who are very conservative don't like public transportation. From what I
hold on.
noticed,
Houston rail is 1979,
okay,
right? Toronto is 1960s. So
But
it's older.
that's got
big
nothing to
building
do
there.
with the
Chicago's
opinion.
even older.
but that's got nothing to do with the opinion. There are still people.
Because people they used to their cars. That's if they don't want to give their right to having like you just said.
Detroit's old. Detroit's old.
No, what I'm saying, people now, people the opinions, right?
Yeah.
People don't want to give up the right of driving their cars so they can get stuck in a freaking train.
They're not. How are they giving up the right to driving the car?
Because when you build because public transportation require a lot of money, so when you then you have to tax more, you have to use more people's
But
taxes.
how are you giving up rights to your
then
car?
you end up having those places that like if you go in downtown, then you have to pay to get in, so there's a lot of things can come in.
Yeah, but how is that giving up rights to your car?
What?
How is that giving up rights to your car if you build public transportation?
Because they make it expensive, like to use the toll road, so
But I don't think
the expressways there.
no, their toll roads are very cheap. It's like I know when I was in Florida, the toll road the most I paid was $1.50. I don't know what it is now. I think I paid $1.50.
Yeah.
I only saw one toll road when I was in Houston. I paid like $1.73. The most expensive toll road
Yeah. Right.
is Toronto, Canada. That's the more that place. Their toll road is ridiculously expensive. I don't understand that. So again, I didn't see it. I didn't experience toll road in Chicago or driving in Philly. So I don't know if that has to do with it. Because Houston has a toll road and it was still, there's just still a group of people who are just adamant against public transportation, and I think these people are. They,
That's
because
it.
wait. It has nothing to do with design, but the fact that
No, they feel like that if they give up too much public transportation, they have to they be forced to leave their cars and be
no.
forced- I
That's
think
not
that's
what
a
it
feeling
is.
they have.
That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
Uh,
They're when you hear them talk,
Yeah.
they feel like this it has nothing to do with giving up their cars because there are places these places that have trains nobody gives up their cars. It has nothing. That's unrelated.
yeah, but the perception. I'm talking about perception of the people.
That's not the perception. The perception is they feel like public transportation draws
Waste of money.
No. It's not waste of money. That a fringe issue.
Yeah.
Because it's down south, conservatives. You know what? I'm stereotyping. I'm not gonna stereotype, but I hear what some people think that because it's public transportation, the type of people that ride it is not. They're not. That's not who they. They always say, "Oh, it's gonna attract like."
I never heard about that one.
Yeah, if you spend enough time down south and you talk to certain people, again, maybe I'm stereotyping. I don't want to stereotype. Okay, I don't want to stereotype.
For what I know,
But from what they say,
before you go too far, like, hold
no.
on.
From what they
what
say,
I know, most of the time is they don't want to pay more taxes, and they think it's a waste of money having public transportation. Those are the main issues.
that's not what. When I was down there, that's not what they said. When I was in school down south. That's not the issue. There was always a conservative, and they were like, "Oh, the kind of people that ride these, they're gonna be." They say it was gonna bring in more crime, for some reason, and I was
How
like,
is that? Doesn't even make sense.
That was my point. I was like, I didn't understand the correlation either.
I don't know who you were hanging out with when you went to school down there. I don't know.
It's nothing to do with that. If you lived there, you would see there's a conservative element that you think, oh, it's going to bring in crime because you're taking people from one area and they're being transported to another area. It's almost like back the days when they were against school busing. They feel like exactly it's
The crazy ones.
A lot of them are, I don't want to say who they support. I don't want to get into politics of that. But that was if you go there and you talk to people like, hey, why is there not enough trains here? They will. Some people who are for it will say, oh, because certain people will say, oh, it attracts, crime, which is not really crime, but they don't want certain elements. That's why I say it was a cultural issue. I don't know why they just have this image because they have stereotyped New York and they see New York as they think that because if they get a public transportation, they just have one image of one city and they think people will start getting mugged, people will get robbed. Because, you see New York subway on TikTok and YouTube and World Star. And so they have that view of public transportation. If you go there, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's nothing to do with taxes. But people can say, we can pull it from this fund.
No, what I'm giving you is mainstream. Mainstream usually it's about taxes.
That's not it.
Mainstream. I'm not talking about your fringe elements.
That's not fringe elements. That's not even. That's a real
usually
opinion.
It is about taxes, and they don't want to give up what they think.
That's not it.
What they are. I think we just should stop.
Yeah, I mean that one. Mine is like real life. I want to say informal survey. I actually had a conversation with my cousin about it. We laugh about it all the time. He says the same thing. It's like, yeah, they're just like, oh, it's gonna bring in crime. It's gonna bring in, bad elements. It's gonna bring down the quality of the city. We're gonna look like New York, which is New York isn't bad. New York has great people in public transit. Everywhere has crime. Everywhere has bad elements. It doesn't matter, even if they don't have public transit. They just have it's a stereotype they use there. I know this. But I went on that. Our topic is really public transportation versus having your car. But you know how we can get sidetracked here. But anyway, let us know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.